The moment the system erased me, Chloe was at Liam's bedside, doting on him as he fought a fever. It wasn't until the next day, after Liam had fully recovered, that she suddenly remembered I was still locked in the dark basement. "Has Ethan learned his lesson?" she asked the butler. The butler, trembling, replied, "Sir is already dead." Chloe was the obsessive yet deeply devoted second female lead in a male power fantasy novel. She and the male lead, Liam, were childhood sweethearts. Chloe loved Liam deeply and always believed he loved her back, but she never expected that their shared history would be no match for the new girl who came out of nowhere. Once the female lead, Olivia, appeared, she and Liam quickly fell in love. Chloe couldn't handle the blow. Unwilling to hurt Liam, she directed all her resentment and pain inward, her personality growing darker, more frantic, and cruel with each passing day. 7 years ago, I was transmigrated into this book, tasked with a mission to win Chloe over, to make her fall in love with me. To complete the mission, I gave her my whole heart, staying by her side, comforting her, redeeming her. I helped her walk out of the pain of losing Liam. She had even promised me she would try to fall in love with me. Today was the final deadline for my mission. Just as she was about to finally give up on Liam, a message he meant for Olivia was mistakenly sent to her. "I'm sick. I feel awful." She immediately decided to rush to his side, no matter what. No matter how much I begged, she remained unmoved. "Ethan, let go." Chloe's voice was ice cold, devoid of any emotion. "Don't you forget, you're just a replacement. Compared to Liam, you're worthless. But you promised me, you said you would love me." Before I could finish, Chloe shoved me away violently. "Know your place," she snapped, stepping coldly over my body as she prepared to leave. "Chloe," I shouted, scrambling pathetically to hug her again, abandoning all my dignity to plead with her. "Please don't go. If you go, I'll die." "Ha!" Chloe's laugh was mocking and cruel. She said, "What, Ethan? Are you going to kill yourself if I leave?" Even if you did, it wouldn't be enough to threaten me." Chloe refused to listen to any explanation. "To me, you're just a pastime, a way to kill time." With a single look from her, the servants came over and restrained me, holding me so tightly I couldn't move. "Chloe, tie him up and lock him in the basement," Chloe commanded heartlessly. "Let him reflect on what he really is." I was bound by the villa's servants, forced to watch as Chloe's back quickly disappeared from view. The basement was pitch black. This was the place Chloe would lock herself in whenever her condition flared up. Her love for Liam was so deep that whenever she started thinking about him, she would lock herself away to restrain herself from going to him, from doing something drastic to him. She would engage in frantic self-harm. Every time, I would be there with her, protecting her, stopping her from hurting herself. Unable to find release, she would unleash all her cruelty on me. By the time she calmed down, I would be half dead. I had endured days like this with her for 7 whole years. They say it takes 7 years for all the cells in a human body to be replaced, so 7 years is enough to forget someone. I suddenly laughed. A desolate, sad laugh. "Host, Chloe has arrived at the male lead's home and has taken the feverish male lead to the hospital. Mission failed. I am about to terminate your life." The system's notification sound chimed. "Okay," I replied. "There are still 2 hours left. Perhaps there's still hope," the system said. "As long as Chloe returns to your side within 2 hours, the mission won't be considered a failure." I shook my head. She wouldn't. Chloe would stay by Liam's side. No matter how hard I tried, I could never warm her heart. I wasn't giving up. This was simply the truth. At midnight, just as expected, my soul was ejected from the host's body. I thought I would turn to dust and vanish. After all, any transmigrator is already blessed by the heavens, given a second chance at life. There wouldn't be a third. But my soul just floated in the air, not dissipating. The punishment for a failed mission is that your soul must remain in this world until the person you were supposed to win over dies, the system explained, sensing my confusion. "Host, I must leave now. The next host is waiting for me." After the system left, I was truly just a lonely soul. At that moment, I was uncontrollably drawn to the hospital, floating into a patient's room. I saw Chloe again, her affectionate gaze fixed on the sleeping Liam. All night long, she stayed by his side, not closing her eyes for a second, afraid that if she blinked, Liam would be gone, afraid that she wouldn't get another chance to look at him like this. When Liam woke up, he was a little surprised to see Chloe. "What are you doing here?" "You sent me a message." Liam paused, then understood. "I sent it to the wrong person. I meant to send it to Olivia." I saw the flicker of disappointment in Chloe's eyes, but she didn't get angry, A faint smile even appeared on her lips. Okay, I'll let her know for you. Thanks. Chloe called Olivia. As she was leaving, Chloe, Liam called out to her. Chloe's body stiffened. She was nervous. In front of Liam, she was always so cautious. Ethan is a good guy. You should build a life with him, Liam said with a gentle smile. Chloe nodded, but I could see clearly in her wounded eyes that no matter how good I was, I could never be as good as Liam. She just didn't want Liam to feel any psychological burden. After leaving the hospital, Chloe returned to the villa in the Hamptons. The villa was silent. She sat on the sofa for a long time, likely trying to calm the emotional turmoil from seeing Liam. It wasn't until noon, when the butler cautiously called her for lunch, that she snapped out of it. Then she asked casually, "Has Ethan learned his lesson?" The butler replied, "Mr. Ethan has been in the basement the whole time and hasn't asked for forgiveness. He hasn't been making a fuss?" Chloe raised an eyebrow. "No, Mr. Ethan has been very quiet," the butler said respectfully. "Miss, should I go and ask Mr. Ethan now?" "No need," Chloe said coldly. "Let's see how long he can hold out." The butler didn't dare say more. Floating above, I laughed mockingly. I had to admit, I truly had no dignity in her eyes. When I was first chosen by the system to transmigrate into this book, I was very clear about my status. I knew that if I failed to win Chloe over, I would die again. And someone who has died once cherishes life all the more. So, to make it easier to get close to her, I had my original body surgically altered to resemble the male lead, then deliberately threw myself in front of her car, fabricated a story about my parents being dead, and schemed my way into staying by her side. In fact, my character didn't exist in the original novel. In this world, I was completely alone. To say I was trying to win Chloe over just to live again would be an understatement. I hoped that while living, I could also have a real home. To have someone who truly loved me. My previous life was so lonely. I truly used all my heart to love Chloe. No matter how much she looked down on me, no matter how much she loved Liam, even if she did things that hurt me, I always chose to forgive and tolerate her. It got to the point where I couldn't even tell if my love for her was mixed with ulterior motives. For a while, I almost forgot I was on a mission, if not for the system's occasional alarms. All I knew was that the moment she insisted on going to be with Liam, my heart was shattered. I watched Chloe at the dining table, eating her lunch as usual, slowly, elegantly, her heart as calm as still water. In her mind, I didn't need to be coaxed. In no time, I would come crawling back to her, acting as if nothing had happened. Just like every other time. I suddenly remembered 6 months ago when Liam and I both fell off a yacht. This book had villains, too, who used various means to frame the male lead. When he was deliberately pushed into the sea, I reached out to save him. But in a moment of carelessness, we both fell into the water. In the original story, the male lead could do anything except swim. I couldn't swim either. At that moment, Olivia and Chloe saw us and immediately dove into the sea, both swimming straight for Liam without a second thought. I watched from the water as they got farther and farther away from me. I thought I was going to die that time. Fortunately, I was rescued by the lifeguards. But after being pulled out, I was unconscious for a long time. When I woke up, for the first time, I saw a trace of guilt in Chloe's eyes, though she said nothing. I didn't say a single word of blame. And indeed, for a long time after that, she was much nicer to me. If it weren't for Liam's mistaken message this time, maybe we would have gotten better and better. A hint of regret made me suddenly curious to know what expression Chloe would have when she saw my corpse. Probably just a look of indifference. At night, the villa was unusually quiet. In the study, Chloe had a habit of dealing with work matters in the evening. After losing Liam, she threw herself into her work, and as a result, her business empire flourished to a degree that even Liam couldn't match. Her fingers, tapping on the keyboard, suddenly paused. Then she got up and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. It was dark outside, but she stared for a long time. After a while, Chloe took out a cigarette and started smoking. Smoking was a bad habit Chloe had picked up to forget Liam. And because I had been by her side for so long, because all my thoughts were focused on her, I could read her mood from even her most ordinary actions, her most subtle expressions. Right now, she was clearly more agitated than usual. Was it because seeing Liam had stirred up emotions that were still churning inside her? She finished one cigarette and lit another. The door was knocked. "Mississippi, come in." The butler entered, carrying a glass of warm milk and a plate of cookies. "Miss, please have something to eat." "Did Ethan send you?" Chloe asked sarcastically. "No," the butler denied. "Mr. Ethan has been quiet in the basement. I just remembered that Mr. Ethan always brings you a late-night snack on time. so I took the liberty of bringing this for you. I saw another flicker of irritation in Chloe's eyes. Miss, these cookies were handmade by Mr. Ethan the day before yesterday. He failed many times and finally spent a whole night getting them right. Please try some, the butler added. Take it away. Chloe didn't even glance at it, issuing the command. Miss, do you not understand me? Yes. The butler quickly picked up the milk and cookies he had set down. As he was leaving, he couldn't help but say, Miss, Mr. Ethan has been in the basement without food or water for almost 2 days. I'm worried that Mr. Ethan, that's his problem. If he starves to death, he deserves it, Chloe said angrily. Since he wants to be stubborn with me, I'd like to see just how tough he really is. She then added viciously, without my permission, no one is to go to the basement. Yes. Seeing Chloe so angry, the butler dared not say another word. He could only leave respectfully. After he left, Chloe forcefully extinguished the remaining half of her cigarette, then returned to her computer and continued to work as if nothing had happened. She truly didn't care one bit whether I lived or died. Why did I even have expectations about her reaction to my death? I should have given up long ago. The night grew deeper, but Chloe seemed to have no intention of sleeping. She ran her hands through her hair in frustration. She tugged several times but couldn't get the hair tie out. When I was around, I took care of all her daily needs. The night before, I would prepare suitable clothes for her according to her schedule for the next day. When she woke up, I would immediately help her wash up and get dressed. Occasionally, when she needed her hair done, I was the one who did it. After 7 years of my meticulous care, had she become unable to manage her own life? Indeed, right now she was tugging so hard her scalp hurt, but she couldn't get the hair tie out. In a fit of rage, she kicked the chair. As the chair made a loud noise, her phone suddenly rang. Without looking at the caller ID, she answered it, her tone harsh. Hello, it's Liam. The male lead's magnetic voice came from the other end. I saw Chloe's entire demeanor change in an instant. The frustration and anger from a moment ago vanished. Her eyes filled with tenderness. In front of Liam, Chloe never had a temper. She saved all her bad moods for me. Even when Liam ruthlessly abandoned her years ago, she just endured it silently. And no matter when, if Liam wanted to see her, she would go even if it were raining knives. What's wrong? Did something happen? Liam asked with concern. No, Chloe's voice softened, and her whole being instantly calmed down. She changed the subject. It's so late. What did you call me for? Before Liam could speak, she asked nervously, how are you feeling? Is the fever gone? I called to tell you I've been discharged. The doctor said it's nothing serious, just some fatigue, a post-cold symptom that should clear up in a few days. Take good care of yourself, Chloe said caringly. I know, Liam replied, then added gratefully. You left in such a hurry today, I didn't get a chance to thank you properly. Chloe gripped her phone, silent. I knew all too well that the reason she left so decisively was because she was afraid that the longer she stayed with him, the more reluctant she would be to leave. And she didn't want to cause Liam any trouble. All the pain, she would rather bear it herself, or perhaps vent it on me. By the way, Liam said, as if suddenly remembering, it's my 26th birthday tomorrow. I hope you can come to my birthday party. Chloe's grip on her phone tightened. I wasn't planning on having a party, but Olivia insisted on celebrating for me. You should be free, right? Liam asked. I'm free, Chloe replied in a low voice. That's great. Remember to bring Ethan with you tomorrow. Last time he almost drowned saving me, and I haven't had a chance to thank him properly. Okay. Chloe hesitated for a second but still agreed. How could she refuse a request from Liam, even if she didn't want to see me at all? It's getting late, you should get some rest. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Chloe put down her phone. Long after she put it down, her eyes were still fixed on Liam's name on the screen. I really should have given up. It wasn't just the way Chloe looked at Liam. Even seeing his name filled her with deep affection. For 7 whole years, what was I to her? I watched Chloe sit there, frozen, for a long time. The screen went black. She suddenly walked out of the study. Mr. Henderson, she shouted. The butler quickly ran out of his room, looking up at Chloe on the 2nd floor. Miss, I'm here. Go tell Ethan that if he admits he was wrong and promises not to be jealous or unreasonable again, you can let him out. Yes, the butler quickly agreed. I laughed. Floating above Chloe, I laughed with such irony. Chloe, I can't make you any more promises. I can't just act like nothing happened and go back to fawning over you after you've hurt me. All I have left now is a cold, dead body. Chloe returned to the study. Perhaps because Liam had called her, she was noticeably calmer now. She slowly moved the mouse, her mood seemingly improved. A moment later, the butler knocked and entered. I saw the panic, even terror, in the butler's eyes. He must have discovered that I was dead. "Miss," the butler began, hesitant. He probably didn't know how to break the news. "Is Ethan behaving now?" Chloe asked nonchalantly. "Mr. Ethan, what? Still throwing a tantrum?" Chloe sneered, her eyes filled with scorn. "No, miss. You go tell Ethan that if he keeps this up, if he doesn't know when to quit, I won't care even if he starves to death in that basement," Chloe said fiercely. The butler's body trembled. He stammered, "But Mr. Ethan is really dead." I saw a flash of panic in Chloe's eyes, just for a second. It was immediately replaced by disgust. What new trick is Ethan playing now? Does he think by faking his death he can win my sympathy? Make me give in to him? "Miss, Mr. Ethan is really dead. I just went to the basement to check. Mr. Ethan's body is already cold and stiff," the butler said frantically. Chloe stared intently at the butler. The butler repeated earnestly, "Mr. Ethan is really, truly dead." "Impossible." Chloe denied it outright. "It's true." Chloe rose from her chair and strode out of the study. The butler hurried after her. She quickly walked to the basement. The light in the basement was dim. Standing at the entrance, you could only see me lying on the floor from a distance, still bound by ropes. After I died, I was forced to follow Chloe around. This was the first time I had seen my own dead body. From this distance, you couldn't see anything clearly. It was as if I were just asleep. "Ethan, stop pretending." Chloe's voice was still cold. "I'll count to 3. If you get up on your own, I'll forget what happened yesterday." I was genuinely amused by her. To this day, she still thought I was deceiving her. She still thought that if she gave me an out, I would come back to her like a puppy, wagging my tail. 1, 2. Chloe's voice grew louder, laced with anger. She saw that I remained motionless. "Ethan, don't push it." Chloe gritted her teeth. 3. How could my corpse possibly react? Chloe's eyes turned red. With anger, probably, because for the first time I had defied her. "Miss, Mr. Ethan really is. Go tell him that if he doesn't come out tonight, he can stay in there forever." Chloe spat out the words and turned to leave. So heartless. She wouldn't even spare a glance to confirm if I was really dead. My soul floated along with Chloe as she left. I saw her return to the bedroom. The hair tie that she couldn't seem to get out earlier was now ripped out in a few tugs and thrown to the floor. She went into the bathroom to wash up. Her shower was quick. Afterwards, she called out by habit, "Towel!" After waiting a few seconds, she took one from the rack herself, roughly dried her body, changed into her pajamas, and lay down on the bed. She turned off the light, closed her eyes, and went to sleep. Soon, her breathing became even. My death really had no effect on her whatsoever. The next day, Chloe's alarm went off. There was no one to turn it off for her, no one to tell her she worked too hard and should sleep for another 10 minutes. Her alarm blared incessantly. "Ethan, are you dead?" In her sleep, Chloe roared with anger. Yes, I was dead. Stone dead. The alarm continued to ring. Chloe finally couldn't take it anymore, sat up in bed, and slammed the alarm off on her phone. She turned her head, looking at the spot where I used to sleep. The anger that was about to erupt died on her lips when she saw the empty side of the bed. She pursed her lips but didn't linger, simply throwing back the covers and getting out of bed. Chloe went to the bathroom for a quick wash-up, then walked into the walk-in closet. She spent a long time in the closet, picking out clothes. She tried on one outfit after another. Today she was going to Liam's birthday party, so she had to dress up. Chloe wasn't a conventional beauty, but she had a great figure, fair skin, and a captivating presence. She could mesmerize you at first glance. She changed into a black formal dress. Her curvaceous figure stood before the full-length mirror as she stared at herself for a long time. Still not satisfied? I watched her pull the thin strap off her shoulder, then put it back, dissatisfied. She did this over and over. Frustrated, she tugged at the dress twice and walked out of the closet. Then she quickly applied some beautiful makeup and went downstairs. Downstairs, the butler was waiting for her at the foot of the stairs. Mr. Ethan, still being stubborn, is he?" "No, it's that Mr. Ethan. Don't mind him. If he wants to die, let him." Chloe walked straight to the dining table, giving the butler no chance to speak. The butler sighed, helplessly following behind Chloe, remaining silent. After breakfast, Chloe left the villa. My soul followed her. She went to the office first, handling a large pile of work, constantly busy, until Liam called her. "Chloe, you're not here yet?" Liam asked. At that moment, she seemed to remember that she was supposed to go to Liam's birthday party. In the past, she would never forget anything about Liam. She must be blaming herself terribly now. I watched her quickly agree. I'll be right there. Okay, we're waiting for you. After hanging up, Chloe quickly drove to Liam's party. She was practically flying down the road. Even as a soul, I was afraid of getting into a crash. Upon arrival, the birthday party was in full swing. As soon as Liam saw Chloe, he took Olivia's hand and walked over. Chloe, you're finally here. Sorry, I'm late, Chloe said. This is your birthday gift. The gift had been in Chloe's car the whole time. I had prepared it for her earlier. She gave Liam a gift every year, and I had gotten used to picking one out for her in advance. Liam took the gift, very happy, and opened it immediately. Inside was a string of sandalwood beads. The beads were from an auction Chloe had attended. She had casually mentioned that Liam would like them, and I had kept it in mind. Then I went to a temple and had the best master bless them with a charm for peace. Because Liam was getting married soon. I thought, since Chloe couldn't give Liam a wedding, she could at least let him wear the beads she gave him as he started his new life. A small compensation for her deep regret. Liam was very surprised. He exclaimed, Chloe, where did you get these sandalwood beads? I heard they were going to be auctioned, but when I asked, they said they'd already been sold. I can't believe you got them. And you had them blessed for me? Thank you, Chloe. You always know exactly what I like best. I saw a strange emotion flicker in Chloe's eyes. I couldn't quite place it. I only heard her suddenly murmur, Ethan prepared it. Then I must thank Ethan properly. By the way, where is Ethan? Why didn't he come with you? Liam asked in surprise. Chloe was suddenly at a loss for words. For a long time, she couldn't say anything. What's wrong? Did you two have a fight? Liam asked with concern. Ethan would never stay mad at you. Did you do something to really hurt him? For once, Chloe didn't argue, remaining silent. Chloe, Ethan is genuinely the best person in the world to you. If you lose him, you'll regret it for the rest of your life, Liam said, a little agitated. Liam wasn't a bad person. In fact, he was very good. Because he felt he owed Chloe, he was also very concerned about me. He had always wanted to set Chloe and me up properly. I've never seen a man love a woman so humbly, to the point where he even knows his own rival's preferences inside and out, Liam said, getting angry, probably on my behalf. Chloe, how much must Ethan love you to tolerate another man in your heart, to tolerate you endlessly being good to another man, and even helping you be good to him? Yes. How much tolerance did it take? I didn't know either. At first, it was probably to stay by Chloe's side, so I catered to all her preferences. Over time, it became a habit. After even longer, it was as if my love had become blind. Blindly giving for her, blindly doing anything that would make her happy. Chloe, stop being so stubborn, Liam said earnestly. Don't wait until you've truly lost him to regret it. Ethan deserves your genuine love. With that, Liam put the sandalwood beads Chloe had given him back into the gift box and returned it to her. I've really liked these beads for a long time, and I'm very grateful for everything you've done for me. But these beads don't belong to me. They should belong to Ethan. Chloe looked at the beads in her hand, silent. I was actually planning to thank Ethan in person today. I even got him a gift. Liam took a small box from Olivia's hand and opened it. This is a tie clip I saw him looking at when he came with me to pick out a suit. It's not very expensive, but he couldn't bring himself to buy it. Chloe looked at the gold tie clip in Liam's hand. Actually, it wasn't that I liked the tie clip itself. It was because it looked a lot like one of Chloe's hairpins. I selfishly wanted to have a matching set with her. It was as if from the moment I was chosen as a transmigrator, my entire being revolved around Chloe, with nothing left of myself. Ethan didn't ask you to buy it for him, did he? Liam asked Chloe. Chloe's body stiffened slightly. Then, she nodded. You've been with Ethan for so long. Have you ever given him a single gift? You live a life of luxury, but I've never seen him wear a single designer item, Liam said, his voice growing more pained on my behalf. Even if he doesn't have a job, he's your boyfriend. He ignores the world's judgment to willingly take care of everything at home for you. How can you be so heartless to him? How can you let him live so miserably? Chloe's lips were pressed tightly together, clearly suppressing her emotions. She said in a low voice, He never asked me for anything. Chloe wasn't lying. I really hadn't asked her for anything. She wasn't stingy. She just never thought to be good to me. That's why I feel even more sorry for Ethan. He loves you so humbly, so cautiously, yet you just take it all for granted. Ethan is a person too. Just because he doesn't say it doesn't mean his heart doesn't ache, Liam said deeply. I saw Chloe's fingers, holding the gift box, trembling slightly. Was it because Liam was displeased with her, making her upset? Chloe, Liam called her name sternly. Go back right now and apologize properly to Ethan. The party will go on until tonight. I hope you can come back with him. Chloe stood there, motionless. She didn't want to leave, did she? It was a rare opportunity to see Liam. How could she bear to leave, especially for someone as insignificant as me? I watched her hesitate there for a long time. Chloe. Liam was getting angry now, a look of utter disappointment on his face. Fine, Chloe agreed. She was afraid of making Liam unhappy, so she never refused his requests, even if her heart wasn't in it. I followed Chloe as she left the birthday party. She got back into her car and sat in the driver's seat for a long time without leaving. That's how unwilling she was. Just when I thought she would give up on going back and just make up an excuse to return to Liam's party, she started the car and headed home. The drive was slow, a stark contrast to her rush to get there. Just like her mood now. Before, it was passionate excitement. Now, it was utter dejection. After a while, Chloe arrived back at the villa. As soon as she entered, she saw several people carrying in a glass-topped casket. What is going on? Chloe roared. The butler rushed out. Mr. Ethan's body? Is he addicted to this act? Chloe cursed. The butler didn't dare to speak. He probably didn't expect Chloe to be back so early. Usually, when she went to see Liam, she would be gone for at least a whole day. Where's Ethan? Chloe asked. Still in the basement. Chloe walked directly towards the basement. This time, she didn't stop at the doorway but walked right up to my corpse. The ropes on my body were gone, probably removed by the butler. After all, I was dead. What use were ropes? I saw Chloe standing over my body, looking down at my bluish face, my stiff limbs. Ethan, she called my name. Her voice was still cold. I'll say it one more time. Get up yourself and I'll forget everything, she said, speaking to my corpse. I had to laugh. Did she think I could come back from the dead? Or that a simple threat from her would make me climb out of death itself just to please her? Ethan. Chloe's voice was loud, echoing in the basement. The butler, standing by, couldn't help but speak up. Mr. Ethan is really dead. He's not dead, Chloe said stubbornly. He was a perfectly healthy person. How could he just die? The butler fell silent. He probably didn't know either. After all, my hands and feet had been tied. Suicide was impossible, and there were no external wounds on my body. Ethan, didn't you want to marry me? Chloe's eyes were fixed on my corpse. Yes, I wanted to marry her. Once, after a passionate night, Chloe's head lingered on my neck. I knew in that moment she was truly satisfied. So, I gathered my courage and whispered in her ear, Chloe, let's get married. Those words instantly extinguished the passion in the room. She pulled away from me, her entire body radiating coldness. She said, Ethan, don't push your luck. You said you would try to like me, I whispered. Once, she came home drunk from a social event. I wiped her down, poured her honey water, and helped her drink it. She suddenly looked at me, her gaze a mixture of haze and affection, and said, Ethan, I've decided to try to like you. I held on to those words. I thought my perseverance had finally paid off. But in that moment, she coldly told me, right now, I don't like you at all. My heart ached, as if it were being squeezed, making it hard to breathe. After that, Chloe was cold to me for a long time. I never dared to cross that line again. I never dared to say those words again. Chloe continued, Ethan, congratulations. You've succeeded. I've decided to marry you. I couldn't help but laugh. I was dead, and she was saying she would marry me. At this moment, I felt no emotion at all. I even found it to be a joke. A massive joke. Get up, stop pretending. Her voice softened considerably. She repeated tirelessly, let's go buy wedding rings right now. Pick out a suit and a wedding dress. I brought back the prayer beads you wanted me to give Liam. You can wear them at the wedding. They really are precious. Liam also gave you a tie clip. He said it was one you liked. Whatever suit, watch, bow tie clip, limited edition sneakers you like, we can buy them all for the wedding. She said all this to my corpse, as if I weren't dead, as if I were just throwing a tantrum with her, and she was coaxing me. It was truly unprecedented for her to be so humble with me. Should I feel no regret now? At least she wasn't completely indifferent to me. Or was I overthinking it again? Chloe was probably just trying to satisfy Liam's request. The butler couldn't stand it anymore. He said, Mr. Ethan is really dead. He can't marry you anymore. Shut up. Chloe suddenly flew into a rage. Her eyes instantly turned crimson as she roared at the butler. The butler was so scared he didn't dare to breathe. Ethan isn't dead. He can't be dead, Chloe insisted stubbornly. We haven't even gotten married yet. He hasn't truly had me. How could he bear to die? The butler didn't dare to speak. He just silently handed Chloe a journal. Chloe's eyes flickered. What is this? This is Mr. Ethan's journal, the butler replied. I found it by accident today when I was packing up his things. Looking at that journal, my very soul trembled. After coming to this world, I sometimes felt lonely, sometimes couldn't bear the pain inside. So I chose to write in a journal to vent and adjust my emotions, to maintain the best state of mind to face Chloe. But now I didn't want Chloe to see it at all. Chloe's fingers trembled as she opened my journal. April 4th, 2016. Today, I accidentally transmigrated into a book. A system told me it had chosen me from the vast sea of the dead to be a conqueror. As long as I succeed in my mission, I can live again. If I fail, I'll die again. April 10th, 2016. I met the person I'm supposed to win over. She looks so unhappy. She clearly has everything, yet she's so lonely, as if she's the only person left in the world. I suddenly feel a bit sorry for her. It reminds me of my past life. In my past life, I was just as lonely. When I was born, my father was rushing back to see me and was killed by a truck. My whole family blamed his death on me. My mother hated me, and my grandparents hated me even more. I was raised by my maternal grandmother. Grandma was the best person to me in the world, but when I was in 8th grade, she was hit by a car while bringing me lunch. When she died, she was still tightly clutching the container of my favorite dish, potato and pork stew. After Grandma died, people around me called me a jinx even more, saying I would bring death to my whole family. Because I was still a minor, under legal pressure, my mother had no choice but to take me back to her home. She had already married an uncle, who had a son 5 years older than me. My mom and the uncle also had a son together, and they focused all their attention on this younger brother. They didn't know that the uncle's son was constantly harassing me. Once, I couldn't take it anymore and told my mom. My mom slapped me across the face. You're a boy. Do you think you're that good-looking? Why would he harass you, another boy? Don't you know how hard it is for us to support you all? Can't you just be considerate and give me some peace? After that, I never dared to speak up again. No matter how I was bullied, I endured it, until I got into college and left that home. But after I graduated, my brother suddenly reappeared. He was like a demon, demanding money from me and constantly harassing me. I endured it for 2 years. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore and called the police. My brother was arrested. I never expected that. When my mom found out, the first thing she did was beat and curse me. She called me shameless, ungrateful, a heartless wolf, and even forced me to ask the police to release my brother. Utterly heartbroken and with no will to live, I jumped from the top floor of a building right in front of my mom, shattering into pieces. I don't want to recall the past anymore. Every time I think about it, it's like a nightmare that terrifies me even in death. Today is the last time. From now on, I will start over. With this woman named Chloe, I will start my new life. Will she accept me? July 20th, 2016. My face has finally healed. I look about 60 or 70% similar to Liam. That should be enough. I went to Chloe's company and deliberately ran out in front of her car, falling under it. The moment she hit me, it hurt a lot. But seeing the look in her eyes as she looked at me, I felt it was all worth it. July 30th, 2016. Today I was discharged from the hospital and, as I wished, went with Chloe to her villa. Living with her, I truly understood how much she liked Liam. She was even taking antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication for him. She would even self-harm for him. In that moment, I could relate so deeply. I used to self-harm to cope with the pain of my brother's harassment. I held her tightly in my arms. I believe that one day she will move on. She will start a new life with me. April 4th, 2017. Unconsciously, a year has passed since I came to this world. A whole year. I still haven't moved Chloe's heart. She still loves Liam, loves him so much. October 3rd, 2017. Today is Chloe's birthday. I made her a cake by hand. I waited for her all night, but she didn't come back. Later I found out she sat outside Liam's house all night. She wanted Liam to celebrate her birthday with her, but she was afraid of disturbing him. April 4th, 2018. 2 years. Chloe still doesn't like me. July 13th, 2018. Chloe often has stomach pains from working herself to death and not eating on time. I started bringing her meals every day, making all sorts of her favorite dishes. Every time I watch her finish the food I made, my heart feels so full and warm. It gives me a sense of home, as if we've truly become a family. I really want to be with her, not just for the mission. There's an emotional attachment now. April 4th, 2019. 3 years. Chloe still loves Liam. The system reminds me every day, but what can I do? I've really tried so hard. February 15th, 2020. I've truly fallen in love with Chloe. When I see her with Liam, when I see the look in her eyes as she looks at him, my heart aches. Actually, it's not hard to fall in love with Chloe. It's not surprising at all. She is my salvation, the only ray of light in my dark life. She gave me a chance to live again. I also want to be her salvation, to help her out of the pain of love. I want to build a home with her, a warm home. We could have lots of kids. I like a lively home. December 25th, 2020. It's Christmas and it's snowing. I was left on the street by Chloe. Because Liam and Olivia had a fight, Chloe had to go comfort Liam immediately. I had no money, and my phone was left in her car. She didn't notice. I walked home, frozen solid. The moment she saw me, she was a little surprised, but still chose to be cold. I remained silent. I don't blame her. I know she's suffering too, because Liam will only ever run into Olivia's arms, and she will only get hurt coming back from him. April 4th, 2021. 5 years. Should I give up? But I don't want to. Not just because I don't want to die, but also because I really want to be with her. April 4th, 2022. I haven't written in my journal for a year, probably because there's nothing left to write. After all, it's been 6 years, and I still haven't won Chloe over. I've invested all my feelings and still failed. June 19th, 2022. Chloe got drunk and suddenly said she would try to love me. In this final year, have I finally moved her? System, I'm almost there. October 13th, 2022. I fell into the sea trying to save the male lead. Olivia and Chloe both went to save him. I almost died. When I woke up, Chloe was by my side. The system said she had been with me, never leaving my side. For the few days I was unconscious. I was actually a little happy. I even forgot that it was because she abandoned me that I almost died. March 20th, 2023. Although Chloe rejected my marriage proposal, I can feel that she's different towards me now. She thinks about Liam less and less. She's also very used to having me around. The system said there are only 15 days left. As long as Chloe isn't affected by Liam during this time and doesn't actively seek him out, my mission will be considered a success. Once it's confirmed, I can live on. In this world, like everyone else, I can live, age, and die normally. I'm looking forward to that day. I'm looking forward to my future with Chloe. The journal ended on that entry. I saw Chloe's tears falling, big drops rolling down her cheeks. Does she feel a little bit of guilt for me? Surprisingly, I felt nothing. Before, I probably would have felt sorry for her. But now I'm indifferent. It's like watching a stranger. Perhaps when you die, you really don't care about anything anymore. You can instantly let go of everything you had in life. Right now, I just wish I could leave Chloe, even if it means becoming a lonely ghost unable to reincarnate. I don't want to be by her side anymore. Miss, my condolences. The butler gathered his courage and spoke again. He had probably never seen Chloe cry in all the years he had served her, so he felt a bit of pity. Get out, Chloe ordered coldly. The butler looked at her. I said, get out, Chloe roared. What about Mr. Ethan's body? Get out. The butler left, kindly closing the basement door behind him. I saw Chloe crouch down. In front of me, she was finally willing to bow her head. Her slender fingers approached my face, trembling slightly. I don't know what it felt like for her to touch my cold, stiff corpse. Wasn't she scared? But her hand stayed on my face, tracing my features. Then, she started to cry, a suppressed sound that echoed in the enclosed basement. Looking at her, I just found it laughable. Belated affection is cheaper than dirt. I just watched her indifferently as she held my corpse and cried her heart out. I don't know how long she cried. In the end, she almost fainted several times. I had never seen anyone so grief-stricken. I just don't get it. When I was alive, she treated me with indifference. Now that I'm dead, who is she putting on this show for? Ethan, she called my name, a deep, affectionate call, over and over, as if calling for her beloved. Ethan, Ethan, wake up, Ethan. Don't sleep anymore. Let's get married, okay? Let's get married. I'll agree to any kind of wedding you want. I won't like Liam anymore. I'll only like you, okay? Ethan, don't leave me. Don't leave me alone. How can I live without you? Listening to Chloe's words, I thought I was hallucinating. I knew she would feel guilty. Even if you raise a dog for that many years, you'd feel a bit of sadness after it dies. let alone a living person. But I never expected her to suddenly become like this. As if she had become a different person. Suddenly so deeply in love with me. Wasn't that kind of affection always reserved for Liam? Ethan, the basement echoed with her calls for me. Anyone who didn't know better would think she had lost the love of her life. I floated above, watching with boredom as Chloe guarded my corpse and cried all night. She didn't even answer when Liam called. In the morning, the butler entered the basement, probably afraid Chloe would die inexplicably too. Miss, if Mr. Ethan's body isn't placed in the casket soon, it might start to decompose, the butler had to remind her. In fact, looking at my corpse, it was indeed starting to decompose. Chloe's eyes flickered. She had been kneeling in front of my body. Hearing his voice now, she didn't react much. Miss, put him in, Chloe said. Suddenly, she was calm. Grieving for one night was enough. I watched her get up from the floor, her body a bit unsteady. The butler quickly supported her. Chloe pushed him away and walked towards the basement door without a hint of reluctance. Her deep affection is truly something else. Miss, should we prepare a funeral for Mr. Ethan? The butler quickly asked. No need. Then direct cremation? No. Chloe's voice was a bit louder. Then what should we do? The butler was at a loss. I didn't know what she wanted either. Put him in the casket. Don't touch it. Chloe threw out the words and left. So what was Chloe planning to do? Let me die without a final resting place? I followed her back to her study. She called her assistant. Get me a wedding ready immediately. For whom? The assistant was stunned. For me? For me, Chloe said irritably. Right here at the villa. She hung up angrily and then started frantically calling people, inviting everyone to her wedding tomorrow. I was thinking, has Chloe gone mad? Her wedding? With whom? Just then, I saw her dial Liam's number. She said, Liam, I'm getting married tomorrow. So soon? He sounded pleasantly surprised. Has Ethan forgiven you? I told you he's the best person in the world to you. You must not make him angry again. He is very good, Chloe said faintly. I figured her next sentence would be, but no matter how good he is, he can't compare to you. But instead, Chloe hung up the phone. So, was she planning to give herself one last chance, to have a wedding for Liam before he got married? After making the calls, Chloe didn't linger, leaving the villa immediately. I watched her pick out a suit, a gown, a wedding dress and rings. Then she returned and had someone dress me, lying in the casket, in the suit. I rubbed my ethereal eyes. I was afraid I was seeing things. Was Chloe going to marry me? I was dead, completely dead. She was going to hold a wedding with a dead person. I couldn't even imagine the horror on the guests' faces tomorrow. Chloe had truly gone mad. The next day, however, the wedding was not cancelled. Many people came to the villa, including Liam and Olivia. Liam was very happy. He walked up to Chloe, who was in a white wedding dress, and asked, Where's Ethan? Why are you greeting guests alone? Chloe bit her lip, her eyes glancing towards a corner of the hall. It was surrounded by flowers. If you weren't looking closely, you wouldn't see the glass-topped casket there. Is Ethan over there? Liam asked. Chloe nodded. Liam quickly walked over. Chloe followed. The other guests followed as well. The moment they got there, there was an uproar. Everyone was shocked by the sight of me lying in the casket. Chloe, what is going on? Ethan, Liam was in disbelief. Yes, Chloe replied. The words he's dead never came out. Liam was in complete shock. How could this happen so suddenly? Wasn't he fine just a while ago? Others started murmuring. One person, unable to understand, asked, Since he's dead, why are you still marrying him? Chloe shot him a fierce glare. The person fell silent. Only Liam had the right to speak at this moment. Chloe, why are you doing this? Because, Chloe said word by word, Ethan wanted to marry me. I almost coughed up blood from my spot in the air. Can I just say I want you to go eat shit right now? I'm dead. Dead. I just want to be buried in peace, not be a part of your ridiculous theatrics. Liam was silent for a long time, then said nothing more. The other guests didn't dare to say a word. The wedding proceeded just like that. One person, one corpse. The officiant asked Chloe, Miss Chloe, do you take Mr. Ethan to be your husband? To have and to hold, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do you part. I do, Chloe said, then added, Not even death can do us part. I laughed. So you're going to die with me? Following the ceremony's procedure, the officiant asked my corpse the same question. Chloe answered, He does. I do not. Don't ruin my chance at reincarnation. Chloe placed a ring on my ring finger and then leaned down to kiss my corpse. I felt a wave of nausea. The ceremony ended. I thought this farce was finally over. Even as a ghost, I was extremely embarrassed. Just then, I saw several police officers suddenly walk into the villa. The guests were a bit alarmed, not knowing what was happening. Chloe was very calm, watching as the police approached her. "Who called the police?" "I did," Chloe said. "I killed someone." The entire room was stunned. I was also confused. "Who did you kill?" "Ethan." She pointed to the casket beside her. The officer glanced at it and said sternly, "Come with us to the station." Chloe was taken away from her own wedding in front of everyone. At the station, she confessed to killing me, then regretting it and calling the police. The police performed an autopsy on my body but found no direct cause of death. It was ultimately ruled as a sudden cardiac death. Therefore, Chloe couldn't be charged with murder, only with involuntary manslaughter. She was sentenced to 7 years in prison. This meant my soul had to follow her in prison for 7 whole years. I thank you and your entire lineage. If you wanted to die with me, you could have just killed yourself. Why put on such a disgusting show for everyone? I spent 7 extremely boring years following Chloe in prison. During those 7 years, I witnessed all of Chloe's misery. I figured she must regret it now. Wouldn't it have been better to just bury me properly and live her own life? Why go through all this suffering? And she dragged me into it. After being released from prison, Chloe went directly to my grave. She knelt before my grave, looking at my tombstone, caressing the black and white photo on it. "Ethan, I'm sorry, I'm late," she said, a sincere apology. "I thought I would be executed." Chloe paused, her voice choked with emotion. "It's okay, I'm here to be with you now. I'll never leave you again." I saw her take out a knife and slice it deeply across her wrist. Blood splattered everywhere. She seemed to feel no pain, a smile even playing on her lips. I floated above, watching her every move with indifference. Perhaps after death, one truly loses all emotion. I watched her commit suicide as if I were watching a movie. My only annoyance was that she didn't die farther away. She dirted my grave. But at least, the system had said that once the person to be won over dies, my soul can rest. So now that Chloe is dead, can I be reincarnated normally? I had been looking forward to this. I saw Chloe collapse to the ground and then stop breathing completely. The moment she died, my soul was sucked into something like a black hole. I heard the familiar voice of the system in my ear. "Congratulations, you can now be reincarnated normally. See you next time." See you next time? What does that mean? Is this going to happen again? I just want to forget my past, have a clean slate, and be a new person. Chloe's epilogue. I killed myself. I slit my wrists at Ethan's grave. I watched the blood gush from my wrist, splattering everywhere. I smiled. I could finally be with him. It wasn't until he died that I realized how terribly wrong I had been in this life. I realized that, without knowing it, I had fallen so deeply in love with him. In his journal, he said I was his salvation. He saw me as the only ray of light in his life, yet I was the one who caused his death. I should pay with my life. I never expected that my confession wouldn't result in a death sentence. 7 years in prison didn't make me give up the idea of dying. Instead, I was filled with regret every single moment. Regret that I didn't just choose suicide instead of calling the police. Every day I longed for my release, longed to be with him. Finally, I was out. I went to his grave. I saw his familiar face. I suddenly wondered what he looked like before the plastic surgery. I think I would have loved his original self even more. My vision started to blur. Death, it turned out, could really bring fear. But at least it was quickly followed by nothingness. My soul floated out of my body. So, it's true that people have souls after they die. But where was Ethan? I searched everywhere like a headless fly, until a being calling itself the system appeared. It said, "Congratulations, you have been chosen as a conqueror. You have a chance to be reborn." A conqueror? Like Ethan? I don't want to be a conqueror. I just want to find Ethan. Where is he? I refused. I had no interest in rebirth. I only wanted Ethan. "He is no longer in this world," the system said. "However, you can go to his world to find him." Okay, I eagerly agreed. But the prerequisite is that you must become a conqueror. So, do you still refuse? I don't refuse, I quickly agreed. The next moment, my soul suddenly had a body. This is a male-led redemption novel. The one you need to win over is the male lead, the system said in my ear. I didn't care who I had to win over. I just wanted to know, where is Ethan? The Ethan from your previous life is the male lead here. Host, good luck. I eagerly went to see Ethan. I saw his completely different appearance. Was this his real face? He was so handsome. Yet for me, he had made himself unrecognizable. I couldn't suppress my excitement and walked up to him. Ethan, I called his name, my heart trembling. You have the wrong person, he said coldly, a hint of disgust in his eyes. Right? His name wasn't Ethan anymore, but he was my Ethan. I was about to explain when he suddenly walked past me, his face changing to a gentle smile. I saw him walk towards a girl and gently pull her into his arms. The deep love in his eyes was impossible to hide. The girl glanced at me and asked him with strong possessiveness, "Who was that?" "I don't know her," he quickly explained. "Then why was she talking to you?" "She must have mistaken me for someone else." "Ha!" the girl scoffed. "Her way of hitting on you is so lame." "Yeah," he agreed, then said with a gentle look, "I wouldn't be drawn to her anyway. In fact, I find her kind of repulsive. Something about her just makes my skin crawl the moment she gets near me." "You're not allowed to talk to any other girls from now on," the girl demanded imperiously. "Okay." He wrapped his arm around the girl's shoulder and they left together. I watched his back from a distance, his words replaying in my mind. He said I was annoying, even repulsive. "Don't be discouraged, host. When he was trying to win you over, you treated him the same way." The system reminded me. The words were like a knife to the heart. Was the system also mocking my self-inflicted misery, telling me I deserved this? I endured the dense pain in my chest. I knew clearly that he was truly far away from me now. He would never love me again. But I was willing, in the limited life I had left, to silently watch over him.